Oh, that was weird. All right. We're going to let people join us in a minute here. She's got we have a new monitor over there.
Yeah.
So
because we're old and can't see.
The phone screen is that big, so it's hard to read the comments. So she's got a monitor up over there. So I'm watching me, pointing at me.
I don't watch you. I just use a break. So here's the thing. One of our followers said, I have to do something where you guys can read the screen because I'm always seeing Chris squinting and looking over
or she looks to the side, which is the worst thing during an interview. I'm talking to the people because I got a big mouth.
Because I can't see this at all.
I literally can't see anything that's coming up right now.
I can read all of it.
So
there you go.
No, people are saying hi.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Sorry about that. We were kind of behind the scenes type of stuff. So this was sort of a something we set up a couple of weeks ago when we met them both at the bash, and I'm happy that we were able to do this so quickly. Brian,
Richel.
I stay quiet during that.
I just want you to say it. I just want you to say it.
Hold on, let me try. Rochelle.
Yes.
There we go. Okay.
Like Michelle, but with an R.
Got it. I spelled her name wrong on the expo poster, and I was so mad at myself because people were like, "You spelled her name wrong," and they're like messaging me, and I'm like,
people saying that.
I felt so bad. I reached out to her right away, and I'm like, I am so.
You're not allowed to make a mistake.
You know who else I did that to? I'll be honest with you. I kept calling Mike Gonzalez Mark, and he was like, "Dude, the poster, you keep making it Mark." So I had to apologize to him.
When Rachel comes across, I automatically assume that it auto-corrected.
Yeah.
I'm like, it auto-corrected my name. But thank you for, fixing it and apologizing. I appreciate it. But you are not the first person. You will not be the last person. Quit giving John a hard time. Like, it was an honest mistake. Thank you for taking up for me. I appreciate it. And I'll let you guys know when we have a different battle.
I've had one time somebody called me Brain. Like
Brain.
I've done that. I've spelled that wrong as well in the past where I didn't catch it, and then we've had a Brian or two at our convention. I'm like,
no, if somebody called me Brain, I'll be like, yeah, leave it. That's my new name. I'll take it.
Obviously, he hasn't met me.
So anyway, let's get started again. Brian Murray, Rochelle, Stratton from A&E's Ghost Hunters are joining us tonight. Any of you guys have any questions? We're checking out the comments over there. We're going to do our regular interview, but we're watching the comments. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you don't know who we are, Zach Baggins. No, kidding. I'm John Ruggiero. This is Chris Therian. We are New Jersey Paranormal. We also organize the New Jersey Paranormal Expo, which is coming up in 3 months, and Brian and Rochelle are going to be there. I'm grateful to announce that in case you haven't seen that news. Thank you guys so much for joining us, by the way.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Thank you for having us to the expo. We're super excited about it. I did see that someone said, are they going to be at the VIP party too? Yes, we will be. Is there a theme that we need to know about? A lot of the times when we go to these Paracons or
it's a surprise. Nobody knows till they walk in the door.
Good.
Okay, but I don't have to dress up as.
No.
Okay, just making sure.
But you, Brian, we do have Speedo night, just in case
you
were. Yeah, just
pretty much all I wore.
Anyway,
color is it?
It's hologram.
So
Speedo night for you and banana hammock for him.
It's the same thing.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, anyway, so we heard nothing but good things about you guys. Cody and Satori, every time they talk about you guys, they just praise you guys as being good people, nice people. And I've known about you guys for years. We had Daryl at one of the expos that we did a couple of years ago, and I couldn't wait to actually meet you guys and talk to you at the bash because I had seen you at Penhurst for a little while, but you guys were busy, and we don't go approaching people at other conventions that aren't ours. So we were looking forward to the bash, actually speaking to you. Yeah. I got to speak with Brian a little bit because some little person. So know and love April was, if she's in the
April.
vicinity, you're doomed. You're not
God
going to have a
loves Sparky.
conversation.
It was a 3-minute. It was like a 3-minute story that turned into 15.
Oh my goodness!
Is that when you left and then didn't come back?
I left, didn't come back for a while because I was trying to explain this little story, and she just keep going. It was great.
I made sure she was live right now. She's doing her own thing. I planned it that way, just
Perfect.
so that there wouldn't be any of that going on.
It would be so cool though if she just popped in real quick and cut me off.
No, please don't.
I
Please
would-
don't.
I would
People aren't going to tell.
I'm laughing if that happened.
Yeah, it was
But-
funny.
Were you? I mean, we cut people off all the time. I think I just cut you off, actually. Yeah.
She does it all the time. I'm used to being cut off.
I'm just excited.
Anyway, let's get into the interview part.
Meat and
Finally,
potatoes.
What?
The meat and potatoes.
okay, that was cut off again. But anyway, I'm kidding. Anyway, we're gonna do the paranormal thing. We're not used to interviewing two people at a time, so we're gonna kind of, Rochelle, well, you first. Your background growing up. What was your belief in the afterlife, spirits, ghosts, as you were younger?
So, if you ask my grandma, she actually
Is
said
she
that.
there?
No, she's not here right now.
Forward. She's with April.
She is alive. She's not here right now.
Okay.
But she had told me not too long ago. I mean, I think when I let her know that I had gotten on Ghost Hunters, she said, "Well, you've always been a little weirdo, so it makes sense." I was like, "Thanks, Grandma." But that was like love. Like that was her love.
She just loves you to pieces.
But I've always been into paranormal stuff, like ghosts, the creepy, crawly things, like things that go bump in the night. So ghosts. I really like vampires, witches, werewolves, like Halloween stuff in general. And then when I was 8 years old, I had my first paranormal experience that I remember. I woke up in the middle of the night to someone standing at the foot of my bed.
Oh,
It was a kid, and they were dressed in period clothing, like they had a bonnet on. And I had told my mother about it, and she didn't believe me. She's like, "You just watched too many scary movies." I was like, "What scary movie have I watched that has a lady wearing a bonnet in it?" I don't know. But so she didn't believe me, or kind of brushed it off. And then the following night, my sister, who shared a room with me, woke up to the same person at the foot of her bed. She didn't know about my experience because I didn't tell my mom when she was around. But when she told my mom about it, I was sitting there and I was like, "That's who I saw last night." And it was the same thing. And, my mom it had a little bit more weight to it, but she kind of brushed it off because she's got two little kids, an 8 and a 10-year-old, who they saw someone in their bedroom. So she can't be like, "Yeah, you probably saw a ghost," because then we're not going to want to sleep in our bedroom. And she doesn't want to sleep in her room. So she kind of was like, "I'm sure it's just your guys' imagination or whatnot." But so that happened.
so wait a minute. So you were 8 and 10 years old. Who was the older? You were.
My older sister, she was 10 and I was 8.
So was that the first and only time you saw whoever? And could you identify features at all, man, woman, or?
It looked like it was a little girl. She looked like she had blonde hair. I feel like when no one's ever asked me about the features and things like that. So I appreciate you asking. I feel like when I first saw them, I thought it was my sister standing there because it resembled our facial features a lot.
Oh, wow.
And so I almost was paralyzed essentially because I was looking down at the foot of my bed and we had these day beds that they made screech so bad if you moved in them.
I know what you're talking about.
With the little flower posts.
Hold on, what's a day bed?
Bed
Like a trundle bed.
that has the headboards on the side, and then it has 3.
It's okay.
It's a fancy girl thing, okay? We both had day beds, but they made so much noise if you turned over, so I would have heard her if she got out of bed.
Okay.
Also, she didn't have a bonnet laying around for her to put on. But it really, it looked like it was a girl, and she had about shoulder length hair, and it was blonde, and her hair wasn't tucked up in the bonnet. It was like the bonnet was sitting over it, and she had on like a white dress. But I feel like that is kind of common for ghosts. They all have white dresses.
So you think it was kind of period attire? You think she was from
Yeah,
way?
Wouldn't it be awesome if it was an ancestor that showed up?
Right.
it would be
I was
really
just thinking
cool.
that.
Which I didn't I don't remember experiencing anything else at that house. But every house that I've lived in, I've always had an experience. Me and my sister have, and Brian actually used to call us the Shining Twins.
Oh my God,
He's
that
like,
is funny.
anytime you two are around, he's like, weird shit happens, and I don't like it.
Creepy.
But yeah. So I kind of always was into it, and
Now, would you consider yourself to have any kind of mediumship or empath or sensitive type abilities, or all the above?
I've got something.
Okay.
Something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is, but
Something wrong with me.
I've got
I've-
something.
I don't like to put a label on it because I don't quite
Gotcha.
understand it or know necessarily how to develop it.
Gotcha.
I just like sometimes I know what people are thinking and like say it and it creeps them out. I do that to Brian a lot. I think I always chalk it up to like, listen, Brian, we're really close. Like I probably just know you really well. But then there's been other people that they're like, we were literally just talking about that. And then you called and were like, hey, how about this? And I mean, I've been told I'm an empath. Grant told me that I was an empath.
Yeah.
And that's an interesting thing to deal with because anytime we're on an investigation and like if I get annoyed, I have to figure out if he's annoying me or if it's
Which
not
is
my
never the case.
or if it's not me, like my feelings, and I'm picking up on someone else.
Now, come to think of it, Chris, you might be an empath because
You
it's
annoy
never
me a lot.
annoying. Now that I think
It's
about
you.
it, there
I'm
might
not
be something here.
No,
That's
no.
a good out.
I have empathy for anyone
Thank
who
you for
deals
that.
for your personality.
Yeah.
That's where I'm an empath. Yes.
And then I've also had several different psychics tell me that they think that they told me that I am psychic, but I have a wall up and need to like basically essentially
Shut her down.
become comfortable with it.
But don't you think that in essence from what you dealt with and who you are now and what you do, like not putting a label on it, but you I think we know who we are inside and what we deal with. A lot of people, like you said, like to put labels on things, but you really don't need anyone to tell you. You know, don't you?
Yeah, I feel like I've got, like I said, I got something. Sometimes I freak myself out.
She knows.
Yeah.
Brian, what about you? Growing up, what were any experiences or what were your beliefs in the paranormal, or did you have any? Or
Belief wise, I was scared to death of it.
okay,
I didn't want anything to do with it. Like it definitely was something that when people talked about it, I was like, shut your face. I don't want to hear about it. I did have an experience when I was 16 that got me into this, and I'm still searching for that actual experience. So everything I've done since then really leads back to that first time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because it's the experience that changed it all for me. So me and my buddy Matt went over to this girl's house. I was going to try to date her.
wait, we're talking paranormal experience, right? Just
It is. It'll get there.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
promise you.
That's a
I
bad
promise.
joke. Bad joke.
Jumped straight into paranormal. He's like, here's a backstory.
Right.
Go ahead.
Next story. Anyways, me and Matt were sitting on the couch downstairs, and like I said, I wanted to go on a date with this girl, so I'm trying to put my, best foot forward or whatever. And she went to the restroom. When she goes to the restroom, her mom comes down the stairs, and she has a tray of drinks, which is super cool that people had trays with drink. Anyways, she bends over to put it on the coffee table, and when she did that, there was a man standing behind her.
Oh.
That man was gray. He looked into my eye sockets, I felt. And I remember looking at him. He turned and walked, and he went away. And I looked at Matt, and I was like, so, Matt, turns out I don't really like her, so we should probably go.
He ghosted her.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. I need the rim shot. We gotta. I
Slid
keep
that
meaning
right
to
in
get
there,
that.
slick.
So wait a minute. This was at her house,
It was at her house.
That's why she got ghosted.
and did you ever talk to her about that? Has she
No,
ever?
I still have not.
Whoa. See,
Look,
I would have said something to her.
Really?
Okay,
Yeah.
if you're out there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
if
don't
you're
even-
watching,
As
come
an
on
adult
in.
now getting
No,
into what
stay
you're
away.
doing
Stay
now,
away.
you
The house
would.
was the shit, the stuff. Anyways, so we left, and me and Matt drove home. We did not talk at all for about 10 days before we called each other, and he was like, here's what I saw, man. I saw a dude disappear in front of us. He was gray. He looked right at us. And I said, that's exactly what I seen.
Oh, he saw it too.
He saw it too. So from that
Oh.
moment, it was, now I've seen it. I've been around it. Yeah, it was kind of spooky, but I need to figure out what that was. So here comes reading. When I used to read, I don't anymore. Reading about it, watching the show Sightings, watching that creepy man off of Unsolved Mysteries talk. That guy scared me too. That voice was something. Okay.
That, like, when you hear it, even if you
Yeah,
hear it
yeah.
now,
I'm
everyone's
like, I
like,
don't like this dude.
we're like, oh my goodness.
I
Do
think
you
he
know where
scared
your
me.
kids are?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really like that. I mean, it's like, again, parents were watching that, but if you're a kid, you were like,
You're in the other room trying to play Nintendo
Oh, yeah.
and you're scared. Like,
so wait a minute. Back to the. So did you tell any of your friends at school, like, hey, I was over so and so's house and I saw, like, that house might be haunted? Like, it seems like something that, I don't know, I might mention to a few people.
I did, because I came. What's up? I came up with like 2 or 3 people. I told them, like my closer friends, and I basically started my own paranormal team that day called the Ghost Squad. Okay, and it was me and 3 of my friends, and we were determined to find out what this was. And we were terrible at everything. It was molded after the movie Monster Squad.
Oh,
We called it the Ghost Squad, but we were determined. And I had a giant book of different entities and cryptids that we would study and read about, and we were going to find out what it was. So from that, well, you want to say something. She's not going to be friends with me no more. She's like, you're a complete nerd.
No, meanwhile, while you're doing all this, I'm doing tarot cards on my grandma.
Yeah.
And she's like, you're a weirdo.
You know what?
You see the synergy here between the
exactly.
two of them,
That
right?
makes
You
for a
see
good
why
match.
they fit, you know?
Yeah.
So
She's a
that's what
weirdo,
got,
and I'm the normal.
yeah, that's what got me started. And I've literally been trying to figure out that day throughout everything that I've done. And the goal was to say, hey, it's not as scary as people might think. It's an understanding that we all have that maybe I can help you try to understand it with my own work at it.
See,
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was pretty good, right?
Good job, Brian.
that's in the book. Start writing the book. Everybody writes the book.
Do you have the book?
No, because I actually drew the pictures and wrote them down.
Does your
so
mom have the book?
She may.
If she has the book, can you please?
Oh, God, yes.
Well, you think I can't draw?
No, I think it'd be a great book. I think everybody would want
I think so, too.
The Brian Murray Guide to the Paranormal. You'd be re-released with your picture
Not to
on
be
there
confused with the Monster Squad.
Yeah, exactly. And the Monster Squad. I'm sure that would catch on like wildfire.
Well, guys, we got to cut this short. I got shit to do.
What's drawing to do?
So let again. I don't know much about you guys and your background. Were you, Brian? You just mentioned you were part of a paranormal team. Richel, were you also doing stuff?
So me and my sister would go out and investigate and do different and ghost hunts and things like that. And it wasn't until I believe 2017 that we joined a team. We joined Riverbend Paranormal, where I met this guy. And funny thing was, like, me and my sister had been doing it, and she was like, hey, I found a paranormal team in our area. I think I'm going to try to join. Do you want to come with me? I'm going to go investigate with them Friday. And I was like, no. I was like, you go, and if it's not a cult, then maybe I'll tag along. But no, I don't feel like I want to go.
She was sacrificing her sister
Hey,
first. Let her test the
She's
water.
smart
The
one. The family.
older one, like mom practiced on her before she had me. So like, come on,
Was it a cult?
it might be a cult.
Might be.
I haven't ever gotten out.
Could be. That's true.
This is a life now.
I think that's the definition, actually, of a cult.
So
it's
just
a
real
cult.
quick, after the Ghost Squad, me and Matt, the same guy that had the experience with me, started a group 2006 or so called Riverbend Paranormal.
Okay.
So that's where she came up, she
Yeah.
joined.
Yeah. So my sister, she went and she was like, oh my goodness, I had so much fun. They're all great. They investigate the way we like to investigate. And I'm joining the team. And I said, oh, well, that's awesome. I said, can I come along? And she says, well, let me ask Brian, the co-founder, if you can come. I said, okay, sounds good. She comes back to me and she's like, he said no. I was like, what?
Hey man, I couldn't pronounce her name.
And he said,
That would be a hard no for me too, Brian.
Yeah,
I'm
right?
with you on that one. I'd be like, wait, this isn't Rachel? No, forget it. No.
he actually thought my name was Rachel,
I
and
did
he
too.
thought that me and my
See?
sister were
Thank you.
screwing with him
Yeah.
and pronouncing it weird. And I was like, no, that's
Yeah,
not
I was
it.
like, okay, Rochelle.
For the longest time when I said my name, it was quotation.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so like he said no, and I was like, well, ask him again. And she asked him again, and he came back and said no. And I was like, I'm like I said before, she's my older sister. I'm a baby sister, so I am persistent. Like, I'm not gonna, no, we're not gonna tell me no. I'm going. We just need to get everyone on board, and it's going to happen because I'm not taking no for an answer. Otherwise, I'm going to tell mom
Oh,
that
boy.
you won't let me hang out with your friends. And then, anyway, I also said, like, I don't have to join the team. I said, I just want to go investigate. There's enough ghosts to go around. Like, I don't have to be a part of the team if you guys have too many members. Like, sorry. So finally, he broke down and was like, yeah, she can join the team, or she can come, whatever. And then
Soft spot.
So
Yeah.
so so
My-
Brian was approached with, I'm gonna tell mom, and there's enough ghosts to go around. That was your great interview for the team.
Oh, her interview was
Oh,
terrible.
that's
And I'm pulling the sister
wonder.
card.
the
And my
que-
name is not Rachel.
yeah, the questions were terrible. He
Okay.
interviewed me for it,
gotcha.
and after that, I took over interviewing
Yeah,
for the
she
team
kinda
because I
interviewed
was
What,
like,
what did he do? Open that book, that big book of his, and said,
I
"What
did
is
have a
this?
book.
he did have
What's this one? What's that one? What is this crypto?"
And he
No,
wanted to know if she
there was
and he
nothing-
wanted to
there
know if
was
she watched
nothing-
Monster Squad.
yeah.
There was nothing in this book.
He opened the book. A little bit later, we found the book.
Oh,
A few years later, we found the book. We won't talk about it, but
It's embarrassing.
we found it, and I was like, "Sweet, Brian, you're no longer in charge of interviewing people for the team."
Yeah, so she took over investigating for our team too. So
Oh,
yeah,
whatever.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
persistence paid off. Look
I
at
think
you,
it's-
Rochelle.
yeah. Look at
So
me.
so were you guys ever doing private cases like residential stuff as well, or
Mainly,
really?
that's what we mainly did when we started out.
See, here's the thing, and I'm going to jump a little bit ahead, but I'm going to come back. I thought my impression of your ghost hunters was, and I think a lot of people have this impression as well, that it was kind of casted. Like, I didn't think you guys even knew each other, to be honest with you. I really didn't. When I watched the show, the first episode, I'm like, they got a guy from here, they got a girl from there, they got another girl they got a guy from there, and that's what I thought watching that show. I wasn't sure who knew who or if anybody was together. I don't think they even kind of
But watching
made
the
that
show,
clear initially.
there was more of a connection with those two.
No,
than
there
anybody,
was,
definitely.
but I mean, I didn't know that there was a history there. I don't think they
We
went
looked-
into that.
We lived 4 miles away from each other.
Yeah, we were best friends before we got on the show.
But am I wrong about that? Did they talk about the relationship before ever?
I think that they did a special on it, and then and they talked about how we were best friends and
They
that
introduced
our
our
families were
wives
friends and
and husbands.
stuff.
Okay.
But I think it was a special or whatnot
Yeah.
before the first episode aired.
Okay.
But yeah, it was crazy because we went to, first of all, we did not know it was for ghost hunters
At all.
at all. We went to casting. We thought it was just for a paranormal show. We honestly didn't think we had a shot because we're like,
we didn't even apply for anything.
we didn't apply. They reached out to us.
Wow,
And
that's cool.
every time we made it further, we were kind of like, really?
Seriously? Us?
Okay.
We're from the Midwest.
Yeah. So we show up to California to do this investigating on camera, which neither one of us I have never investigated on camera. I was like, I've never been in front of a
Ooh,
camera.
that had to be brutal.
Yeah, I kept stepping out of the way, and the cameramen were like, hey, why do you keep moving? I was like, I'm trying to get out of the shot. And they're like, you are the shot. I was like,
I got to tell you what, we were on Kindred Spirits, and I literally was talking to the cameraman, like, did you guys hear any of that? And they're like,
I did that.
Yeah, we're not here. We're not
can't
here.
help it.
Do you remember me doing that to my
Yes.
cameraman? I said, did you hear that? And he's like, you can't talk to me. I said, listen, I
You're
heard
right there.
I said, I'm talking to you. I heard it. I said, he heard it that way. I heard it this way. I said, we need a tiebreaker. You have ears.
Yeah.
Which way did it come from? He was like, that way. I was like,
And I'm a little sister, and I'm going to tell mom.
yeah.
You better pay attention.
Works for all the time.
I was like, just answer the question. They can cut it out. Like,
Oh,
which way
wow.
did it come from?
We go to do this investigation that we've never been on camera for,
Okay.
but me and her have investigated before. So
Right.
when we went into this location, we're going to do what we normally do.
Right.
And for a little bit there, I know we did. We forgot about the camera because
Okay.
we were in game mode, really.
Yeah.
So we like to have a great time, but when it's investigation time, it's serious for us.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure. So this is my favorite part about anything that we've ever done. Okay. Can I put the scene out there for you real quick?
Sure.
We're hearing noises. We're in this building. We're hearing noises. Okay. And we're doing like we would normally do. Did you hear that? All right.
I hate you so much.
Okay.
Right now. Every time we tell this story, I want to punch you.
This is the question she asks. On camera, we're trying to get a job.
Best foot forward, guys, right?
Trying to put it, I mean, we want to be professional people here. She says, Brian, do you think they had farm animals back in the 1800s?
Oh,
I-
Richel, you just had a blank.
I would have been like,
moment.
no, it's proven in history that they didn't exist till 1920.
Richel, we all have those moments.
No,
Yours
you
just
do
got
not.
caught out in the open like that, so it's not
I
fair.
Brian, at that point, I would have been like, you still like me though, right? I mean,
You know what I said then? I was like, really, Rochelle? And she said, go ahead.
Like, first of all, okay, he mocked me.
Yeah.
And it pissed me off because he barely speaks the English language.
Barely.
half the time,
why?
okay. So I basically laid into him and I was like, listen, I said, I understand. I said, you knew exactly what I was trying to, like, the question I was trying to ask. I'm sorry that I misworded it. I was like, but you don't have to be such a dick. I said, you seriously are an asshole.
Oh,
Now making fun of me. I was like, and you can go straight to hell. I was like,
oh.
And they loved it.
and then our camera guy started laughing. I was like, oh shit, we're on camera.
Yeah. Completely forgot.
I was like, I'm just kidding. He's like, it wasn't a stupid question. I was like, it was a totally stupid question. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but they, like you said, they love that because then they're like, could you do that every week?
Basically what
But they saw a
on the
real
show.
connection and interplay between the two of you, and that's what they need. That's what the audience needs too. You guys know that.
I did
What?
apologize.
He
I
did,
have
he
apologized.
did apologize, and I also apologized. But so I want to be clear. We were at a farm or whatever, okay, in California.
Okay.
Okay. And the animals, they had llamas,
Like alpaca.
alpacas, like right next to the house.
Okay.
Okay. We're from Illinois. Farms here, it's acreage.
Yeah, same in Jersey.
Yeah.
Like it's acreage.
You don't see the farm animals.
The
very
animals
much.
aren't
No.
right up next to the house. So I meant, like, did they have the animals that close to the house?
Right. It just came out.
Did they have them in 1800?
Right.
Which is
Definitely.
no.
Yeah. Anyway, it was stupid, and he likes to bring it up. And put it together, Chris.
So at that point, you you go through, when do you kind of like know, like you got an email that you said you weren't even, you didn't like submit anything to say we wanted to be on the show. They reached
No.
out to you.
I got a phone. I got a phone call that I thought was a bill collector.
Wow.
And I went outside in my bibs that I had been working in, and I was like, "Oh boy, what didn't we pay? Is the cable going to be cut off?" And it was, "Hey, we'd like to interview. Would you be interested in a possible paranormal show?"
Wow.
And we had done 2 or 3 different interviews before for different things.
Right.
That always sound great. So if this ever happens,
Which all of them, they reached out to us,
Yeah.
which I'll say that, like, by the time this person came around, I was like, yeah,
we were
Yeah.
over it.
you do.
Yeah,
What?
this is going to happen. Sure.
We were over it.
Like, so like when they interviewed me, I was unapologetically myself. I ended up giving the person who was interviewing me a hard time. I made fun of them.
Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe we haven't tried. See, we've done Zoom calls with production people, and we've done 3 or 4 or more of them. And like you said, it gets to the point where you're just like, yeah, sure, we'll do this again.
Sewage on me, on my bibs. My hair was everywhere.
See, we never tried that. Maybe we should try being annoying and have sewage on us.
Don't do the sewage. It's not even worth it.
So
you are a baby brother, so maybe you could pull that card like she did.
No, I can't.
Doesn't work for fellas.
No, it doesn't. So at what point does it become real where like, hey, did you know, what point did you find out it was a new ghost hunters that they were kind of looking for?
When they called us and told us we got the show.
Oh.
Ooh.
Even our contract didn't have the title for what it was. They called and they were like, hey, they called me. I was on my lunch break and they're like, hey, you got a second? I was like, yeah, I'm on my lunch break. I'm heading back. What's up? He's like, are you sitting down? I was like, I'm in the car. Yeah, I'm sitting down. What's up? And he's like, so congratulations. The network loved you and you are on the show. You're the new cast.
Wow.
Like, okay. He's like, you're a ghost hunter. And I was like, yeah.
Now, what if you'd have gotten it and he didn't, or vice versa? Would that have? Would there be jealousy? Would there?
We made a pact going in
before we ever even flew out to California or whatnot.
That stands even to today on anything. We don't do podcasts without the other one.
Right.
We don't go to the conventions. We're together. This is my teammate. This is my best friend, man.
We always are like right side, left side. Like we're a unit. And we're codependent. It's a little weird, a little quirky.
No.
But it's one of those things that we had made a pact before we had ever gone out to California that if they didn't want us both, they weren't going to get either of us.
It wasn't even a question.
Because our friendship means more. And like, I wouldn't be mad at him for taking an opportunity.
I'd be pissed.
But my feelings would be hurt. Like, why didn't they want me?
I would
as well.
I wouldn't have a problem if they wanted just him, but he would definitely.
Yeah, that's a tough pill to swallow. I'll be honest with you. I love her.
Like
I've been with her for 30 years. Yeah. And if we were together and similar to your situation, and she got the call and I didn't, I mean, there has to be some kind of like.
I think there would be.
I would support her and be like, hey, good for you. But inside, I'd be like.
Tore up.
Yeah.
He would hang me with it every moment. And here's the thing.
Well, thanks for putting that out there.
I would literally, because it's your dream. It's not my dream. It's his passion, his dream. So how could I possibly take his dream and stomp all over it when I don't have that dream like he does? I think that would be more salt into the wound if I were to do that. And I could never do that to him.
I think also that I don't know, like for me, I never thought in a million years that this weird, I'm a fan of quotations tonight, guys. Like I keep doing it, but like, I never thought that this hobby that I had would turn into this. I never thought about being on TV. Like, and I remember that when we were waiting or whatnot, one of my coworkers was like, well, what if you don't get it? And I said, I went 30 years without a normal show. And I was just fine. Like, I'll be okay. I'm like, I I was like, quite honestly, I don't think I'm going to get it. I said, I was surprised they even took me out to California. I got a free vacation out of it, and I got to investigate
That's actually
a cool place.
what we were looking for.
Yeah, I would think the same way, to be honest with you. But what about the added pressure of the name? Now, if they'd have called it Grant Wilson's Paranormal Show or ABC Paranormal, I think it would have been much different in a lot of people's mind. But the Ghost Hunter name, what were the thoughts going into that? Did you guys say, was there any issues? Did Grant say anything, or?
I told him, I said, way to aim for the fucking fences.
You better believe it.
I was like, geez. I was
like this is the top of this is here.
I'm like, we screw up and tarnish this name. Right. Also, I think we said people are going to hate us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That came out.
And it was like, we already signed contracts. Like, we're locked in.
They purposely wanted to keep you in the dark so that
we didn't meet Grant until the first episode that we went out.
Really?
No, he was a part of it.
We didn't know he was a part of it.
And then come to find out, he had a hand in picking us.
Wow. So wait a minute. There wasn't like any Zoom thing or anything where let's introduce the cast. It was
hello.
First day of shooting. There's Daryl. There's whoever. And
we didn't know who was on the cast.
We didn't know the cast until
the
first one.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's so weird to me because you would want to. I would think you would want to have some kind of like chemistry a little bit, even if it meant you guys spending 2-3 days together, just hanging out, eating some meals. You know what I mean?
Well, when we did the investigation, like we had a week of stuff with each other, and we investigated with other people besides just us.
Yeah.
So okay.
I investigated with Brandon. I investigated with.
I investigated with Brian and Mustafa.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I sat in the car with Kristen for a little bit. I asked her like what she did for a living because, I was just like, you're a pretty girl. And she was on her computer doing something. I was like, what do you do? And she's a parapsychologist or
hypnosis, isn't it?
She hypnotizes people.
Okay.
And I was like,
hypnotherapist
or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, you're a wizard. She was like,
don't do it to me, man. Leave me alone.
Don't hurt my mind.
You literally can make people do what you want.
Yeah.
She's like, ethically, I can't. I was like, but under the table. So anyway, do you just snap? And like, she just kind of looked at me, but me and Kristen ended up getting along really, really well. She's very, very sweet.
Sweet girl.
But yeah, the first time I really had a conversation with her, I was just staring at her I was admiring her because like she's really a stunning lady. Okay.
Super sweet.
And very sweet. And she's smart.
And she's been on TV. I watched her on Ghost Mine
So I was sitting there.
I didn't even know that.
I didn't either. So I was just sitting there staring at her. I'm sure she felt very uncomfortable. So I was like, I gotta say something because I'm just staring. Like that's weird. I was like, what do you do? And she kind of just looked at me. I was like, for a living. Like, what's your thing?
So once we heard Ghost Hunters, it became like a real like, oh, okay. But we decided, much like when we did in the beginning, we're going to be who we are.
Yep.
And do what we do. And it's got to.
Did Grant give you any kind of like pep talk? Like, hey, we're doing this. It's going to be Ghost Hunters. We're going to put our own stamp on this. Or was it just collectively, we're just doing it? We're just.
He gave us a pep talk, not in the sense of like,
this is what it is.
This is what it is. But he gave us a pep talk in how like
we're a team.
And like it's going to be stressful on families and you guys because you're going to be away from your family. He looked at Brian and I and he said people are going to say you're sleeping together. Yep. So I hope your spouse.
Oh, he gave you and
good
advice.
Yeah, and we're like, we're good with it. Like our spouses. They
know each other.
They know each other and they know us and they're not concerned. They're like, whatever. But he's like, just make sure your families know that things are going to be said and it's not necessarily true, but people on the internet like to come up with stuff. Brian had someone
like to stir.
Yeah. Brian had someone message him and say, cut the shit, man. I know you're with Richel. You're sleeping.
Oh my
with
Lord.
Richel, right?
See, that's another thing I was going to ask you guys, and I ask everybody this because I try to put myself in your position. How does it feel from going from Riverbend Paranormal to being on a national TV show again with Grant, who's very well known? Did people kind of recognize you right away? Did you find your social media profiles blowing up? Like, how does that feel to go from I know my buddies to now everybody knows me and I don't know them?
I guess the way we are, though, honestly, it wasn't that big of a transition for us. Like, we are just who we are. And yeah, we got to be on TV. We got to do some really cool stuff. And the numbers did go up as far as social media. But we've always kind of attacked it the same way. Like, hey, it's Brian, Richel. This is what we do. You like us? You like us? You don't? You don't? And
I will say
we talk to everybody.
Yeah, I will say that notifications were overwhelming for me in the beginning because like anybody who knows me, I'm not great at social media. Like I suck at sharing things, I suck at posting. I'm not great at it. So when the first episode aired and we were posting on social media and things, like the notifications were very overwhelming. And someone had told me, Brandon said, just turn the notifications off. Yeah. And I was like, I can't turn them off. And he says, why not? I said, because if I turn them off and then I get on there and I have all these notifications, it's going to overwhelm me even more. I'd rather to go through them as I'm getting them. So I've gotten used to it now. But in the beginning, that was overwhelming for me. But I will say that I don't really get recognized outside like too often.
She doesn't go outside too often.
I go outside, but I don't really go like out. I got shit to do. Okay. I've been like, I've got laundry, I've got cleaning.
Yeah, but even when the show was on the air and episodes were airing, people still didn't.
My sister got recognized as me more than I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on where we were.
It would depend where we were. I mean, I was at my son's baseball game and I was walking up the bleachers and someone was like, hey, Richel. I was like, oh, hey. And they're like, you're Richel from Ghost Hunters. I was like, I don't know you.
Oh.
I am. And I was like, I really wish I wasn't wearing these pants right now.
Oh, nice. And then they get their picture and then they go and.
Yeah, anytime I get recognized, it's like girls understand this.
You're in mom mode.
You have like, yeah, I'm in mom mode. Girls understand this. Your hair's looking good. Your makeup's looking good. Your outfit's looking cute. Okay. You see no one. As soon as you go out in a shirt and haven't showered and like you got a stain on your shirt or like you're like, I just have to run real quick somewhere. You see like 50 people and you're like, well, great. I don't always look like this, I promise. But that's why, because I usually look like that.
I got two quick ones. I got it 2 days ago at the gym, and the lady said, "You're on Ghost Adventures," and I said, "I'm going to cancel my membership right now to this gym."
You should have said, "You got me, Aaron."
Yeah, I was like, "Nope, you got it wrong." Anyway, and then here's the worst one that I had. I was at the same gym and I was doing my business or whatever. And this guy has his phone up and he's doing this. And I keep looking and I'm making eye contact. And he finally comes over and then his son comes over and they're both doing it. And he finally comes over and he goes, "Where's Richel?" He just wanted to meet her.
Yeah. Like, is she working out in the back somewhere? Yeah. Is she still at the car? Like,
I want to stress this to everybody that's watching and everybody that will see this. We live in different houses. We have families.
We're not always together.
Right.
Like,
so she wasn't at the gym with me.
Same here. Just in case anybody's wondering.
No, okay.
Kidding.
And then the last one, the worst one, was probably when I was getting a new phone. Okay. So
this happened to me too. And I was like, dude.
I'm getting a new phone and I'm turning it into it because I had run over it with a backhoe. So it was destroyed.
Okay.
OtterBox, you suck. Anyways, I give him the phone, and
we're not legally responsible for that comment, by the way.
Yes,
Brian Murray, the spelling is down there.
Yeah, MURF.
Got it.
Anyway, I spelled my name wrong. They got the TVs in there. You know, like they have TVs in the store. AT&T, or I'm not even AT&T.
I know you are. You're
T-Mobile.
Right.
Anyways,
I was like, that's not your provider.
I don't know why I would say AT.
That's not your carrier.
So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting, and all of a sudden the TV comes on, and it's Ghost Hunters episodes.
Okay.
Right? And I look up and I see me and Richel. We're investigating somewhere. And then the other people in the store are doing this. And this dude comes up and says, I just want to tell you, man, you look a lot like that dude up there. And I was like, where? Oh, yeah, that is me. And then everybody in the store had ghost stories, and I became the
Oh, you made the big mistake.
Yeah,
of course.
So they're playing my episodes, which I could have said.
Yeah, but how cool is that? I mean, honestly, that's got to be. I would be carrying around a tablet with me and be like, "Oh, is my episode on the tablet here? Oh yeah, that."
It was pretty cool.
I literally have it on my phone all the time. Like, oh,
it was pretty cool.
Gee, was that on my phone?
I don't know how to respond.
I don't either.
Like, I get so weird. I was at the dental office. I'm a hygienist, so
okay.
I was cleaning people's teeth, and I had a patient in there, and they kept looking at me, and they were like, "Huh?" I was like, "What?" They're like, "How long have you worked here?" I said, "Oh, I've worked here for quite some time." I said, "I fill in and help out, but I've worked here since like 2015." And they're like, "But I'm not." They're like, "In this office?" I said, "I pop in and out," and they're like, "But what do you do when you're not doing this?" I said, "Oh, I do a bunch of different stuff." I was like, and they're like, "You look really familiar." And I said, "Well, maybe you've seen me here." I said, or maybe like I started listing off places I go. I'm like, "Do you go to Schnucks?" Like, that's a grocery store, by the way.
Schnucks.
In case you didn't
That's
know.
what it's called. Schnucks.
I did. I've never heard of a Schnucks
I was
before.
like, "Do you go to Schnucks?" Like, I'm in there like all the time. They're like, "No, I don't think it's that." I'm like, I'm like, well, like, I don't know. And they looked at me. I was like, they kept looking at me like they knew, but they didn't want to say it, and I didn't want to say it. So we were playing like this stupid little game of like, where do you know me from? And I said, I said, are you into like paranormal stuff or like?
There it is.
And
She
they
laid
said,
it on thick.
well, I was just asking, like, I was going to say we may have investigated together or whatnot. And they were like, "Oh my God." And I was like, "What?" They were like, "You're Richel or you're Rachel from Ghost Hunters." I was like, "Rachel." From Ghost Hunters.
Rachel.
You know what's funny? The whole Schnuck thing, I haven't heard that. When I'm dating myself, I'm 55, but when I was little and I used to watch Bugs Bunny cartoons, there was that big rooster guy. I can't remember. Yeah. I say that guy. He would call people a loudmouth Schnuck.
Did he?
I don't know if it had anything to do with the store that you go to. It's just a weird story. You said that, it just popped into my head.
He would make fun of me.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, Foghorn Leghorns. When he would cut, when I
Did
come
you
back,
hear what he said?
What she said?
That's the actual name. I said Rooster Cocklebur or some shit.
Foghorn Leghorn?
It was Foghorn Leghorn. Look at that.
He said Russell Cockleberry.
I don't know. I don't know what he's watching. I'm almost afraid to ask, but
yeah, it was probably in one of my books.
It was at that AT&T store.
It was one of the creatures in Brian's books.
Oh,
probably
yeah,
way in the back.
Obviously, come up against a roster Cocklebur.
All right, so let's ask big picture questions. Both of you. One, sorry. Rochelle, you first. Okay. Your views on, again, we'll go deep dive paranormal theory stuff.
Okay.
What are your beliefs as far as, again, I don't know religious wise where you guys stand, and I know that seems to affect people's answers because we were interviewing Mike from the Race Chasers and everything was kind of religious based. I'm not really like that, but
you mean Mark?
Mark and Mike. But as far as when you pass away, you've been to places obviously where spirits are there. They've been around, they've interacted you. When you pass away, what are your beliefs as far as, do you go somewhere? Are spirits stuck where they are? Can they go and come back? Big picture, what are your beliefs?
I kind of believe, now I have a bunch of different theories and they don't always go together. Like every different experience makes me change it slightly or think something different. But I like to believe that your like heaven is your most favorite place in the world? Like your most favorite time of day? Schnooks, you know, like your most favorite when those specials hit. Like, I'm sorry.
You guys don't have a Marty at Schnucks, do you? Do you know what a Marty is?
No.
No.
Marty is a robot that they have at
We
the
do have
salvage
one.
I've
shop.
seen that guy.
We do.
Oh, do they?
Scares
What do
me.
they call the Marty at Schnucks?
I think Marty. I think.
Oh, is it a Marty? Okay.
I think, but they count things. I always am like, excuse me, sorry. Let me just squeeze by here. But
I like Marty. I take pictures of him often.
I feel like so. If I think why old houses are so haunted, or like a lot of the time have someone hanging out there, is think about how much energy and like passion went into building those houses. You know, it wasn't like quick construction. Like they hand carved things. They put their love and like all of their creativeness into this home. And it wasn't just a quick thing that they put up. It was something they built for their family that they planned on staying in forever. So I just feel like people tend to go where their favorite place.
That's really cool.
Like,
But so you don't think spirits
Where
can be
have
stuck at any location for whatever reason?
if someone is stuck, I don't think it's because I think that they're stuck. Like, say somebody had something tragic happen to them.
Right.
Okay? I don't necessarily. I think that they're staying there. I think they're putting themselves there, like
Right.
stuck, but only because you know when you can't move past something.
Yeah.
So it's your own problem that's causing your issue.
That's
your
a
own
pretty good
hang-up.
theory. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty
I like
good.
And I
it.
think that like if something tragic happens there, they aren't stuck necessarily in a sense that they couldn't leave if they chose to leave. It's that mentally they won't allow themselves to because they're trying to prevent whatever happened to them from happening to someone else.
Brian, what about you?
I believe that stuck. I think they stay. We'll stay where we're at if we've got something left to do. For instance, like the military. I'm a military guy. I was in the Marine Corps when we were at Wendover Air Force Base. I think that the reason why they're seeing and having these experiences because when you're in the military, nobody told them that the mission was complete. Okay, so you are there to do your job until the mission's complete, no matter what.
So yours is a mindset, and she feels like something.
I think
tragic
he's
where you
even
gotta
talking about
work
in life
through.
as well.
But that's what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. It's a mindset. When
Right.
you're in the military, there's a mindset that you're trained on
Right.
that
Yeah,
mission
well-
needs to be carried out.
And I feel like they kind of go together. They're both
They do.
like mindsets of why you're stuck.
Yeah.
It's just like your different kind of values or morals or what you hold high
Yeah.
is holding you there.
I will throw this in there too. I do believe that people that served good purpose and did a good job while they were on the earth the first time sometimes will come back and be
Okay.
able to do another take at it because they did do good things before.
Mhm.
Like I often felt like I belonged in the Vietnam era.
Okay.
And from a very young age, man, I was obsessed with Vietnam and the Marines and the soldiers that took part in that. And I've said to myself before, like, this is the era that I should have probably been in because the mindset I have with the military and how they conducted their
It's
operation.
what resonated with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think
So-
that, like we probably have multiple lives, kind of like what you
I think that's what we were talking
But it was,
about.
you
So
know,
you're
he
talking
had a
about it.
different take than I've heard. You usually hear people say over and over, you keep coming back till you get it right. And he said, well, if you do good and you did well, you come back because that's the pattern of. So that's a uniquely different view.
But I mean, I use that military wise. Like, I feel like you went there and you did this job and you completed the mission. Although you didn't make it, the next time around, you're going to do that again because you were given the opportunity to do it in the first place and you did succeed.
Right.
So here you go at it again. And I know it might sound weird, but I really do.
No,
No,
it
it
doesn't sound
doesn't.
weird
Why
at all.
does it
I
sound
love
weird?
listening to other people's theories because I think we all learn from everyone else in this field. No one's 100% right. No one's 100% wrong, but you learn, you listen, you experience. What about your thoughts on spirits from different times, or maybe time isn't existed? Do you believe that spirits from different times, if they exist within the same structure, building, do they communicate with each other? Do they know they're there?
I think they can.
I think they
Okay.
can too.
I don't think they always.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how aware of their surroundings they are.
I also think there could be a dominant entity in the place.
I believe that as well.
And we've come across this where we've investigated a location where this girl will speak to us up into a point where you could feel the atmosphere change, and it's as if somebody's telling her, don't speak to them.
Yep.
And we've gotten an EVP that's literally said something on the lines of, hurry up, such and such is coming. He won't let us talk to us.
Wow.
He won't let us talk. And we've heard that, which we call the dominant entity, say something like, don't talk to them.
But isn't that crazy that here we spend our life like, if we're a kinder, weaker person, whatever you want to call it, being bullied, and yet you think about maybe there's evidence pointing towards the fact that there's still a dominance
Yeah, it
on
should
the
be
other
like
side
that in
too.
the afterlife.
I
It's
feel,
like,
I've said this so many times, and I try to tell people this, like, your personality doesn't change when you pass away.
That's what
I
Chip
don't
Coffee
believe that
said.
it does. I believe that if you're an asshole in life, you're going to be an asshole in death. It does not matter. If you like to joke, you probably be a trickster ghost type
Right.
thing. If you like to play jokes, like, I don't think that it changes, because essentially your personality is like the essence of you. Your personality is what makes you you.
Right.
And I don't believe that when you pass away, that consciousness or
Yep.
whatever goes. I think it stays with the energy that we come across.
I agree 100%. 100%.
I really like you guys' questions.
You've got some really good questions.
No, see, I like what you said because I believe that 100%. I believe what makes us, we're all the same beings to our core. We're human beings. What separates one human
what
being
makes
from
us
another?
different?
Our individuality, our consciousness, whatever is in our hard drive or whatever you want to call it, personality, whatever past, that makes us individual, unique. So I do believe, like you, that transitions with us.
And there's the science behind when there's a body and the body dies, there's that one little that 1 ounce or whatever that's not accounted for.
Last question before we wrap, because
Well,
I
I
know
got a question too.
Do you? Okay.
Oh,
go
you
ahead.
know
I'm
I
sorry.
do.
Go ahead.
No, I got it. Mine's the ending question.
No, mine.
All right, you want to do it? Then I'll.
You guys are
How
fighting.
dare you say that yours is the ending question? All right, I'll ask, and then you can ask. I'll hit the end button.
What's that? What's that cock's name?
I'm going to have to hit the end button after my question, so there will be no other question. Anyway, talk about, if you can remember, you said you do private cases. Is there any case that sticks out for you guys? You don't have to mean names, places, whatever, that kind of above the other, because we have at least 2 or 3, but is there one that you kind of remember, family specific things that you were dealing
Impacted
with
you in
that
some
you could
way?
talk about?
Now, this question I wish we would have had ahead of time,
Yeah.
because it's
I know
very
there's a million of them.
to run down.
I mean, I really like the one we're on right now. We're doing one right now.
Okay.
Yeah,
That
we are.
essentially wasn't really a believer until stuff started happening.
Mm-hmm.
And almost to the point where it's changed their whole mindset about the afterlife and the paranormal. And it's really nice to be able to go in there and do what we would normally do without any interference. She's allowing us to do whatever we want, conduct any kind of experiment. There's no timeline. And the evidence that we're gathering has been fairly awesome so far.
Oh, wow.
And it's nice because they're getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So the help's there.
yeah. And it sounds weird because we're paranormal investigators, but anytime we have a private case, it's not about us finding evidence to prove it's haunted, or it's not about that.
Right.
Honestly, if I can explain everything that you've had happening that's scaring you away, I want to. I don't want you to have a haunted location. I don't want
Sure.
that for you.
We want them to be comfortable.
I want you
Right.
to be comfortable. And if I can find reasonable explanations for
Yeah.
everything, then that's the end goal, to make you feel comfortable.
Yeah, it's horrible watching somebody in fear.
And that's what we talk about all the time. People don't realize the aspect of counseling people is more than anything else in the paranormal, whether there is something really going on or not. It could be medical, it could be anything, but
Mhm.
you do have to know how to handle people and deal with people. And like you
And have
said,
the
take care of their
resources.
issue, no matter whether it's paranormal or not.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead.
Hold
and
on,
finish
good
Rachel.
night, guys.
Now let Rachel finish her thought there. She started to say something.
I was just going to say, we had a case where a lady's daughter had passed away, and
Okay.
it had been fairly recent when we went to investigate. This was the one that you didn't come with us, but you were watching through the cameras
Okay.
while we were there. But unfortunately, it wasn't paranormal involved. It was substances and
Mm.
grief.
Mm.
And that one, cases like that are just as important, but way harder to navigate.
Yeah.
Because you have to be very careful on how you approach it and what you say and explain it to people. And I know that we had told them, like, we'll keep coming back. Like,
As many times as it takes.
If you keep experiencing stuff, I'm like, maybe they're not comfortable with us. But I know that we had talked to the team, and it was like, this is substances and grief. It is not paranormal. We've been several times. We've had cameras set up 24 hours. Like, the woman, essentially, she lied and said that she didn't like drink or do anything. And as we're investigating, I found things that I was like, this doesn't make me think that you don't drink or do substances, because it looks a lot like there are.
It's the reefer.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
that smells like it.
You're finding evidence in the other area instead
You're sure it wasn't sage?
Yeah, it wasn't. And I had asked, like,
Different smell.
anyone live
All right.
here? Like, anybody else been over? Like, no. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, you tried to give her an out.
I was like, please tell me. So, I mean, that's not paranormal wise, but
No, of course. It's
I
the
want
same
to say
thing.
that it's just as important to be able to handle those situations. And they're
Mental
hard.
illness, there's a lot.
Mm-hmm. They're hard.
There's a lot. So I'm going to ask you both the question, and you guys can decide which one wants to answer first. But
And
the
just so
question
you all know,
is-
this is the last question.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks
and
for
the most important. I always ask and get surprised. One of the questions that I ask everybody that comes on here is there something that you can share with everybody that you've not shared before, that's uniquely about you, whether it's a hobby people would be surprised about, a story, something about you. As an example, Sherry told us that she was named after a racehorse that nobody knew, and it was really surprising. So do you guys have something that you can share that's not about the paranormal, that might be very specific to you, that people would be surprised to hear?
I don't want to say mine because I think people are going to be all weird about it.
No,
Come on. Now you
that's
have
the
to
whole
say it.
point.
Now you have to say it.
No,
Listen,
because
I'm normal for an abnormal. I am a quirky, weird person.
like, it's
redoing the foot.
yes. Okay. Don't be creepy and weird, and I'm not trying to egg
go.
anyone's yum here, okay? But I have extremely long toes. And I can write with them. I can plug things in with them. I can, if I lose my hands, I'm good.
Good to know.
Okay. That's the TikTok reel right there. Brian, your turn.
Oh,
I don't think he could top that, but he could try.
I don't really have anything.
Oh,
No,
come on. She told us about her freakish toes. You got to share something now.
Come on, Brian.
I'm trying to think. God darn.
Come on, Brian.
So there's no hobby or anything or something that, you know, even when you were younger, something younger that maybe people wouldn't have known about you that.
Okay, so I probably.
So I know it.
All right.
Yeah, I've probably wrote over 700 songs.
Oh.
That's not weird. I've done that. Not
But they're
700.
dark as shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you wouldn't expect him to write songs, though.
No. I mean, you
He
never
also,
know.
Believe it or not.
Funny ditties maybe, but not dark shit.
Yeah, he has a
Yeah.
voice like an angel. He really can't. He's got a good voice.
Really?
Yeah.
He probably won't ever sing for you. He only
No.
does it in the car. The last time I tried to record him singing, he punched me in the mouth. So.
Oh.
Oh.
I mean,
On
don't
that
start no
note,
shit. There won't be none.
Thank you so much for having us.
What a way to end it. Wow.
Thank you.
Who knew we would finish on feet and singing? But you
Our
never
mouth
can tell.
punching. Thanks.
Well, we appreciate you guys coming
Yeah.
on. Thank you for
so
taking
much,
the time. And
Guys.
we're looking so forward to seeing you guys in November. We hope you have a great time. And
We will.
thank you guys for
And thank
doing
you for
it.
being really open and honest and like just being you. I mean, it's really nice.
Well, thank
Really
you.
nice.
I hope that your show don't get canceled for having us on.
Yes. And
Now,
Absolutely.
Rochelle, turn off the camera with your feet. Let us see that. Come on.
Dude, if you do that. Don't do it. Oh,
All right, guys. Have a
see
good
you
night.
later.
bye, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Take care. Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
always
pretty
gets a little
cool.
weird. We got to admit that, but they were awesome. Awesome. Again, meeting them at the bash, great people. I knew it from the minute. There's people you click with right away. Good people. Everything we heard about them was true. Just really, really cool people. Looking forward to seeing them at the expo. So you guys come November 4th and 5th. They will be there. They'll have their own table. They'll be there at the VIP parties. So it'll be a good time. There'll be a lot of people.
Real quick, I want to do a shout out to Dan St. Marie. It's his birthday today. So
Yeah, happy birthday, Dan.
to you. So if everybody wants to wish him a happy
Happy
birthday,
30th, Dan.
he would love that. I'm sure. Add to his day. I'm sure that Celine took care of him for his birthday. I have no doubt. I want to tell you guys, have a good night. Please be safe. Stay healthy. Please remember to be kind to your fellow man. It really is very important. It makes a difference.
All right,
So,
guys.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.